Double step. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Closing the gap twice as fast. Beautiful.
And what happens is now we're going over the top and under.
Good.
You
Repeat
close
them
the
drills.
gap all the way with one
Master the
move.
science of power.
There's a variation of press, forward press with the peekaboo style, making sure that whenever you execute these drills, that you have the clear understanding of how the feet should move. So as you're moving forward with the walkthrough, you want to have this much space from here to here, which is approximately 18 inches, shoulder width apart. When you're pushing forward, your first objective, 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3.
You're doubling up every time. Doubling up the move every time.
You want to walk through that way and then come back as the drill is progressing. That's tier 1.
That's your walk
2
drill.
3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
You have to make this
layer.
sequence.
And then
Now this
is
is
go.
sped up.
And you can see I'm steady, making moves left to right, and adding that over the top. Watch 1 2 3 4. All the explosive and come right. There's a science behind the movement, just like this.
Now this
Jab
is
here and come right here.
crap.
With all the explosiveness of an offensive fighter
Once you
who's
close the
possessing
gap,
the skill set of the peekaboo style.
you see what you have to do is once you learn to get to the place where you close the gap, you now have to learn how to get behind that jab, break off to the side, rip, rake. All right. And when you're turning in, the first shot is a right hook to the belly, an entirely different savage package of punches. And so they learn. And I'm going to tell you a quick story after
Break
that.
off. Body. Go. One up top too. That shit hurt. Good, you're gonna slip out. You got see you slip. Right there. You're trying to
that he's the most ducked fighter probably in amateur boxing history. Now he's a professional fighter, undefeated. The thing about it is what happened is the key was he got so good because all we did is drill. We drill. People think they drill. We drill and created the system of an undefeated or unbeatable fighter. That's what this is all about right here. So Stace, on to the next. Hopefully, if you got questions, you got them writing down. You're thinking about them because this is a real thing right here. So thanks for being patient and taking a couple of peeps behind what we were doing. And there was one more drill that you guys will see towards the end of the show. Go for it, Stace.
Yeah, so this is something that I really wanted to bring up today because we get this question a lot. And I can see here on the screen, I can see that our members who are either in Top Trainer U or Champions U or some of these people who picked up the Peekaboo over the weekend, they are wondering, because we get asked all the time, is how do they balance teaching the Peekaboo style with their other fundamental boxing techniques? Because we know when people come on board in either Top Trainer U or in Championship U, their jaw hits the floor.
Yeah.
They cannot believe what the resources that they have. And part of our responsibility is to make sure that they progress and they don't get distracted. But I know that you have a very specific manner in how to address this question. How do they learn the Peekaboo, but also keep on track with their fundamentals so they progress as a whole and complete athlete?
Because the Peekaboo becomes a posture. So as you're learning your basic and fundamentals, what you're doing is implementing wrinkles of it. And so the first drill defensively, when it comes down to making punches miss, is the windshield wiper, which is the most common move in the Peekaboo that you guys relate to it. So you learn that in the first week. So now you're putting that with the box step, you're learning how to pivot. You've already learned 2/8 of the Peekaboo. in as far as all of the required moves to have it as effective, because exploding off to the side, creating angles, head pops, knowing how to drop and roll under, those are basic. Everything is basic. It was just the peekaboo is all about where you're looking from. See, that people don't understand the concept of it. You get what I'm saying? They look at Tyson and think what Tyson is doing in its entirety is the peekaboo. But I'm here to make things clear. The peekaboo is not all of boxing that Mike Tyson was using. Everything he was doing was necessary to do on top of using the style. All right. But when you look at a lot of different things, there's the Dempsey roll. That's not the peekaboo. Then there's some of the turtle shell. That's not the peekaboo. The actual peekaboo is the turtle shell. Get it? It's all about peeking through your defense mechanism. While you're making your guy miss, you're making him pay. And that's why our peekaboo style and our system is robust as it is. So deep. So that was a great one. And as I think about, just when you got these guys and you're learning, I don't want you to think that you can work so hard and get so much out of it, because you got to pace and understand where you're going with this thing. When you're fighting at that level, with that level of intensity and that offensive prowess, you have to be clear on how much to output. That's why we have breathing techniques and conditioning system that go along with it. That's what this is all about. So continue.
No, that was really the bulk of my questions, because we hit the stamina and
well, what happens when you get to a place now where you're I want all of those people who have boxers right now to listen to this, because the real understanding of this is about knowing how to embrace all of the hard work that goes into what you do and find out your why, because you'll get this moment one day. And
I fear that because they're leading with what they know. You know what I'm saying? And the influences they possibly took in. Be it good influences, great. Be it bad influences, now we got a problem on hands because they're leading the next group of guys on the way up.
Yeah.
Right? When you find yourself in trouble, you find yourself in a spot where you don't think you're man enough to handle it, and you don't have that direction, you know what I'm saying, or that understanding. There's a grandfather or father didn't give it to you. It's scary what you do with what you do with it. In an aspect, man, we need more of that. And this is why we need fathers in the home, man, Black fathers specifically.
And the bottom line was, if you're first generation, you got to figure all this out on your own. And I don't know who you think you are, but boy, that's an ego. If you think you can figure out the hardest sport to learn in the world by yourself in your first generation, that is arrogant. I mean, there is no arrogance higher than that. And I don't care if you've been in it 5 years, that's nothing. That's nothing. My coach was in it for 40 years and he was still learning. Experiences are always coming, and you have not seen the same situation because it's a different person giving you that situation, and that person is coming with an entirely different arsenal. Everyone thinks that they can handle what's coming, but we've watched top fighters plummet. If you've been in the ring with Tank, you've seen guys who thought that they were the guy, Barrios. You've seen guys who thought they were undefeated, that was it. You saw Ryan Garcia, just like that. You've seen a multitude of guys. You've seen Lomachenko. They thought that they were going to win. So why didn't they win? because boxing will tell the truth about you.
Mhm.
You've seen fighters quit who you never would think that you'd see that from. And so when you're learning this sport, and it's all about learning how to think bigger and also use your common sense. There is a reason why people say that there are levels to this thing. And so with that being said, you have to think about, why is it that most people who come into this sport always try to warn you, but our egos just take control. And it's the reason why athletes in our sport first only think they need to train because their coach is telling them, this is what you do. But me as a coach, I said, hey, go over here and I want you to turn your camera on and talk to the audience. My guys did live streams. My guys were stars before they had even had fights. They were the most popular guys out here. Hence is why they were walked out on more than anybody. We were walked out of over 5 Golden Glove tournaments. Guys left out the back door that were present. It was one thing if you go to a fight and nobody was there to fight you. It's another thing when people see them jerseys coming in and
They're like,
and they done weighed in and they done all of the stuff, the physicals and everything, turned in the passbook, literally went and took their stuff, came back. We sat around waiting, and there's a reason. Good. Go. There, go. Yeah. I almost just started admiring the comments. Like, oh! That's how it was last year. It was fire.
That's how you were when I first came in.
That's a take.